Now, where does this one sit now? Is it a viable race day option, or should you just go ahead and buy the Elite? Or should you just settle for the up-tempo trainer, the Endorphin Speed? Well, in previous iterations of the Pro, I'd much preferred the training partner, the Speed. However, so the testing's now complete, the scores are in, and this is the full review of the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4. But before we get into it, massive shout out to my #1 running store, the Running Company at Geelong. I've got a link to their website in the description. Make sure you go check that out and check out all their running gear. And also, if you want to support this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, so the Pro 4 neutral road running shoe. So designed for those really fast workouts or primarily your race day. So coming in at Australia here, $340, $225 in the US. Now nice lightweight package here, 212 grams or 7.5 ounces in your men's size 9. Now in the stack heights, we're just under the legal limit here, 39.5 in the rear, 31.5 in the front. Now that gives us a 8mm drop. So scores wise, now for the price, there are certainly cheaper super shoes out on the market. However, this one represents pretty good value, so not too shabby here, 7.5 out of 10. Now in the weight, again, it's not the lightest super shoe on the market. However, it's certainly not the heaviest. It doesn't feel heavy on the foot at all. Nice and light here, 8.5 out of 10. Right, so in our upper here, we've got a really light and airy, breathable engineered mesh, and that's exactly what you want to see in your race day shoe. Padding wise, minimal amount of padding here, but probably a little bit more than other super shoes on the market, and it's mainly just around that Achilles area, so not too much around the heel collar, but right on that Achilles, and that's really where you need it to get a really good lockdown in this shoe. In the heel counter itself, so it's a little bit flimsy there, but the whole thing has got a little bit of structure, so it's not super flimsy, like it's not going to fold in half like you see other race day shoes. There is some structure there, but from the bottom there's not too much structure. Now the tongue is actually sewn into the shoe, so it's more of a traditional type of upper. However, I'm going to call it a bit of a booty design, and that's because the tongue and the rest of the top of the shoe is just one piece. So they've just sewn the tongue both sides in. It's not gusset or anything. Yeah, it's just one piece, and it's a really stretchy, so it's a stretch knit tongue, very similar to the Asics Nimbus 25 and 26 if you're familiar with that. But I really like what they've done with the tongue here. Very nice. They've got a cool little like a pull tab thing that helps you get your foot on, and then you can flip it over the top and certainly hide those really long laces that this shoe has got. Now on the laces, yeah, really long, really stretchy. They could probably be a little bit shorter and probably a little less stretchy just to help you get a better lockdown in this shoe. But saying that, the lockdown isn't bad in this shoe. You've just got to play around with the laces a little bit. All around the heel collar and so forth, I've had no issues with the lockdown. Now the fit here, true to size in the length, and in the toe box it's probably narrow for some people, but it doesn't bother me. I think it's probably just normal from what I expect out of a Saucony shoe. The build quality is absolutely excellent, and the comfort, superb. Well done Saucony, really nice upper here. Really happy, 8.5 out of 10. So in our outsole here, Saucony are using their XT900 rubber, and that's the same rubber compound that they've used in their previous models, I believe. That's also had some slippage issues in the wet conditions. So what they've done here, haven't changed the rubber, but they have changed the grip pattern. So they've got a lattice design now, but the rubber coverage on this shoe, well, there's quite a lot of it. It covers pretty much the entire forefoot and the high wear areas at the back. We've got a little bit of exposed foam here through the middle, and then that black thing that you can see through the bottom is the exposed carbon plate. Now, durability wise, this shoe really, really good, so no issues there. However, this new lattice design, it's got the same rubber compound, and it's got the same issues in the wet. So it's really greasy on a wet bitumen road. We've had lots of rain here in Australia, and this one is like a bit of an ice skate in the wet, but in the dry though, there's nothing wrong with it. However, they need to fix this rubber compound in the wet, because I would have no confidence in racing this shoe. If it starts raining, it would really let your race down. That's why it's getting 6.5 out of 10. And in our midsole, so they've got the dual density thing going on here. So they've tried something new in the Pro. So for their top layer, they've got their Power Run HG. So that is their premium elite foam. That's the one they use in the Endorphin Elite. Very responsive, very bouncy foam. Under that, they've got their full-length carbon plate. That's obviously giving this shoe some rigidity, and this is a very rigid shoe. One of the stiffest shoes out on the market. Now, under their carbon plate, they go back to their Power Run PB foam. So that's our other premium foam they use in other models of the Pro, and also they use in the Speed, if you're familiar with that foam as well. Now, geometry-wise, they have got their Speed Roll Tech in this, so that's where their 4-foot rocker is situated. So it's really in a nice spot here. So you can see that little point of where the color changes. That's probably the tip point in this shoe, and it is in a really nice spot. And how does all that midsole tech translate into the ride? Well, first word that coming to mind is still smooth. So that's what it was on my first impressions, and it hasn't changed. This is a smooth ride. It's a very stable ride. It's a very responsive ride. So you get a little bit of squish in this Power Run HG, so that footbed, you can feel a little bit of squish and a little bit of pop. However, it's not soft and squishy, it's not cloud-like. There's not a lot of bounce or energy return in this shoe. It's just a really clean, smooth, efficient feeling shoe. So yeah, it's not going to bounce you out of the park. It doesn't have too much wow factor. You don't step into it and go, oh my God, I'm tilting forward. The thing feels so fast. It doesn't have that. It's just, yeah, a really clean, smooth, efficient ride. And what's really surprised me is the versatility of the ride. So this shoe feels great at just jogging as well, and no matter what pace that you throw into it, it still feels really smooth and efficient. So I do think that this is a better jogging shoe than its little brother shoe, the Speed. So this one, much more versatile than that shoe. Very, very comfortable shoe. You can run in this one all day. Pretty happy with the ride here, 8 out of 10. As I just said before, this is an extremely versatile shoe. Probably one of the most versatile super shoes on the market. But best shoes for me, I think, is the long run. But just because of this ride, it's smooth, efficient. So it's just going to eat your long runs up. It's so comfortable. You're just going to tick through those miles, no dramas in this shoe. Nice and light. Obviously, it's designed for your race day as well and your faster workouts, and it's going to be totally fine for that. But as I said, it's probably just lacking that top end speed, that wow factor for me to be my #1 race day shoe. And this shoe is going to suit those people who probably need a more of a stable carbon plated racing shoe. So they don't like the squish or the wobble that some of the other shoes can deliver. Now this one is a super safe, stable ride. If you've never had a carbon plate running shoe before, or a racing shoe, this is a great entry level shoe for you guys. Right, so other options out there, or some competition for this one, is certainly the New Balance SC Elite V4. So that one, again, it's probably not the top tier racing shoe. It's probably the next level down. Where this one sits, it's another very safe shoe, quite a stable shoe, but this one, but the SC Elite is actually a fair bit softer, and you get a little bit more bounce out of that shoe. So if you value some bounce and softness, maybe go check that one out. I'm also going to mention the Nike Vaporfly 3. So again, I put it in the same category here. For me, that shoe also lacks a little bit of wow factor. However, it is very light, very fast, and it's got Zoom X. And the last shoe that I will mention is its little brother shoe, so the Saucony Endorphin Speed 4. Same sort of feels as this one, however, it's got a nylon plate and it's a little bit more flexible. That shoe is also a little bit more bouncy and a little bit more lively. However, I'd still pick this one over the Speed. So we've got a really solid option here. So remember, if you're in the market for a carbon plated race day shoe, you've never tried one before, now this is a great one to start off with. So just a really solid, safe carbon plated racing shoe. Yes, it's going to lack some wow factor or some pop and some bounce. However, if you really value your stability in your run, you need a little bit of stability. You're not too cared about the wow factor or the bounce. Now this one is not going to let you down. There's not going to be too many runners that will dislike this shoe. Now, pretty good score there. As you can see, it's just missed out on the 40s. It probably would have gotten the 40s if it didn't have the grip issue in the wet conditions. If you live in one of those drier climates, then this shoe is going to be totally fine for you. But anyway, guys, that is it from me. If you've got any questions regarding the Pro, please drop those in the comments below. Love to read those. And also, if you've got any questions with this shoe, how it relates to anything else, also just drop that in the comments below. Anyway, guys, that's it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you next time.